Australia is one of the biggest countries on Earth, but at night, almost all of it falls dark. The mainland is nearly the size of the continental United States. Picture that whole map as one country. But cross the middle and you can drive a full day without passing a single town. Because the people are all somewhere else pressed onto a thin, bright edge. Around 85% live within a short drive of the sea, a whole nation hugging the shoreline. And here's the strange part. It was never a choice. The land itself decided where a country could grow. It begins, like most things here, with the rain, or the lack of it. There's a belt of sinking air wrapped around the planet, about 30 degrees south. Forecasters call it the subtropical ridge. As that air falls, it warms, it dries, and the clouds pull apart before they can rain. And that belt? It sits squarely over Australia's middle, parked right on top of the continent. Rain does come, but only to the northern rim, in a summer monsoon that dies long before it reaches the center. So the sky over the middle stays open. Day after day after day, the rain never arrives. And down on the ground, the land answers in kind, because everything out here follows from that empty sky. Half of Australia gets less than 300 millimeters of rain a year. Half. It's the driest inhabited continent on Earth. 10 deserts fill the interior, the Great Victoria, the Simpson, the Gibson. And with no cloud to shade it, the land just bakes, year after year, under a sun that never lets up. One day in 1960, at a place called Odnadata, the air hit 50.7 degrees. 50.7. A country can survive heat. It can't survive having nothing to drink. No steady rain means no steady rivers. The one great system, the Murray, clings to the far southeast. And that wet southeast corner grows most of the nation's food, because it's the only ground with water to spare. Inland, the rivers that do run never reach the sea. They run downhill into the middle and vanish. They end at Lake Eyre, the continent's lowest point, 15 meters below the sea, the drain at the bottom of the country. For most of a lifetime, it isn't a lake at all, just a blinding white crust of salt. Then, a few times a century, the water arrives, and for one brief moment, the desert floods and fills with birds. But there's a secret out here, water, an ocean of it, hidden beneath the desert. The great Artesian Basin, ancient water, lying quietly under a fifth of the country, sealed in the rock. Think about that. This water is thousands of years old, and it refills at a crawl, just a few meters every single year. It can keep cattle alive. It can't grow a city's food or fill a city's taps. And water isn't the only problem. There's a second trap out here, hiding right underfoot in the ground itself. Australia is old and quiet. Few young mountains, little volcanic ash, no ice to grind fresh rock. So the soils are thin and worn out. Even where water reaches, the land gives little back. Heat, no rivers, buried water, tired soil. The middle said no, in every language it had. But out on the rim, the edge said yes. It had been saying yes all along. On the rim, the weather turns kind. Winter rains, rivers that run all year, deep, safe harbors. So when the ships finally came, that's exactly where they landed, right where the fresh water was. The first colonies grew wherever a ship could safely put in, every single one on the coast. And today, every capital city but one sits right on the sea. Only Canberra sits inland. Now, it's not that the interior was ignored, far from it. It was attempted again and again. Back in 1860, two explorers, Burke and Wills, led a party north, straight through the dead center. They crossed it, but on the way back, out in that empty middle, most of them died. One man came home. Later, a telegraph line and a railway were driven clean across the center. People passed through it. Almost no one stayed. A century on, the map of where Australians live still traces the coastline. Around 2 in 3 Australians live in just 8 cities, and almost every one of those cities sits on the rim. Out in the center, you can cross regions larger than whole countries and pass almost no one. Step back and you see it. None of this was ever a plan. It was the only shape the land would allow. Because the rule in the end is simple, you cannot build a country where it never rains. So Australia turned outward, built itself around the edge, and left the great silent middle to the sun.